Then Friday night, Bari Weiss starts dropping her stuff. And we knew that she was going to be doing that soon. And this one's pretty interesting because of these secret blacklists. And this is where they started to yell nothing burger. And I agree and disagree. And here's the thing, that a new Twitter Files investigation reveals that teams of Twitter employees build blacklists, prevent disfavored tweets from trending, and actively limit the visibility of entire accounts or even trending topics, all in secret without informing users. That is news, whether you like it or not. We suspected. We have never had hard evidence. We've never seen the Slack messages back and forth that prove it.
Right.
Twitter once had a mission to give everyone the power to create and share ideas and information instantly without barriers. Along the way, barriers nevertheless were erected. Take, for example, Stanford's Dr. Jay Bhattacharya. We're familiar with him if you're a Jimmy Dore fan, if you know about the Great Barrington Declaration. Okay, he's argued that COVID lockdowns would harm children. He's also said, and the Great Barrington Declaration has been stringent in declaring that the most vulnerable in the society should absolutely be vaccinated, but we should not try to mass vaccinate everyone as a solution, because you cannot vaccinate your way out of this problem. But the COVID vaccine is safe and effective, according to YouTube. So, Dr. Jay Bhattacharya argued that COVID lockdowns would harm children. Twitter secretly placed him on a trends blacklist, which prevented his tweets from trending. And there is the screenshot showing trends blacklist. Pretty interesting. Twitter denied that it does such things, of course. In 2018, Twitter's Vijaya Gandhi. Then she was head of legal policy and trust, which Yoel Roth then took over. And Kayvon Beckpour said, "We do not shadow ban." And then they added, "We certainly don't shadow ban based on political viewpoints or ideology." Indignant. What many people call shadow banning, Twitter executives and employees call visibility filtering, or VF. Multiple high-level sources confirmed its meaning. Think about VF as being a way for us to suppress what people see to different levels. Straight up the word suppress. It's a very powerful tool. Reef, you got something to say there?
On what?
Suppressing hate. Think about visibility filtering as being a way for us to suppress what people see at different levels.
Yes.
It's a very, very powerful tool.
Yeah.
Right, but the mechanisms that they say didn't exist.
Yes.
But this is the mechanisms they say didn't exist. And now you're seeing the specific controls and the screenshots and everything that's actually allowing that to happen. All right, so.
Well, but I mean, come on, man. This is obviously Russian propaganda. Obviously. I don't know how you don't. Obviously. You know what I mean?
Obvious. Well,
like,
isn't VF a Russian terminology? Sure. I'm kidding. VF refers to Twitter's control over user visibility. It used VF to block searches of individual users, to limit the scope of particular tweets' discoverability, to block certain users, select users' posts from ever appearing on the trending page, and from inclusion in all hashtag searches, all without users' knowledge. Shadow banning. But that's not shadow banning. We control visibility quite a bit, and we control the amplification of your content quite a bit. And normal people do not know how much we do, one Twitter engineer told us. 2 additional Twitter employees confirmed it. The group that decided...
Just read that again for people one more time.
Quote, "We control visibility quite a bit, and we control the amplification of your content quite a bit. And normal people do not know how much we do."
That's the big part. That's the big part. They're essentially saying, yeah, like, normal people are dumb. They don't know.
How can they? They have no visibility into this. Yes, that's what I'm saying. The group that decided whether to limit the reach of certain users was the SRT-GET, the Strategic Response Team Global Escalation.
The CERT-GET.
Yeah. It often handled up to 200 cases a day. And what's a case? But There existed a level beyond official ticketing, beyond the rank and file moderators following the company's policy on paper, and that's the SIPPES, Site Integrity Policy Escalation Support. And who is this? This is a secret group which included head of legal policy and trust, head of global safety and global head of trust and safety, and the CEO and a couple of others. High level. Nobody even knew about it. This is where
all of these were like ex-FBI for the most part, right?
I don't think that these people were necessarily. These are like C-level, and I'm sure there were people who were involved in a few
of them that were
data security.
14 more ex-FBI and security service Twitter employees today were like,
yes,
and they were all at high level.
This is where the number 15.
Vijaya,
this is where the biggest, most politically sensitive decisions got made. Think high follower count, controversial. There would be no ticket or anything. So there's no record of this stuff. But it turns out there actually is. But
SIPPES seems like
it's just
like a product name,
right? One of the accounts that rose to this level of security, of course, was
for beverages.
Libs of TikTok, an account that was on the Trends blacklist and was designated as "Do Not Take Action on User Without Consulting with SIPPES." This is, by the way,
what do they mean by action?
Meaning, don't block them, don't ban their account, don't shadow ban their stuff. Don't do anything without consulting the highest levels of executive management, because they're watching this.
I thought Libs of TikTok was,
they're right wingers. They're making fun of the Libs of TikTok.
Right. So what? I guess why would they?
Who works at
Twitter?
Have
them not take action?
Who works at Twitter? They have to be careful because it's a high-profile right-wing account. Like James Woods, for example, which they end up banning later on, and we're going to talk about James Woods. But Libs of TikTok was on the Trends blacklist, meaning that their stuff was not allowed to go viral or to trend, on top of other things. Right.
So does that mean they also have actions that would boost that they're talking to?
Of course they could.
Who are they sending that to? That info?
Mm-hmm. Good question.
Like any actual user, like what actions does that user have?
Well, normally it's paid.
You know,
they have to pay Twitter ads. That's how they boost it. But you think Twitter can't give that a little boost if they want to automatically? Right. When there's a worldwide disaster or they want to push a hashtag, you guarantee they can do that.
Yeah.
And artificially. Okay. Vosh trends every day in your newsfeed. Need I say more?
Yep.
Okay. Twitter repeatedly informed the owner of Libs of TikTok account that she'd been suspended for violating Twitter's policy against hateful conduct. However, internal SIPPES memo from October 2022, after her 7th suspension, committee acknowledged that she's not directly engaged in behavior violative of the hateful conduct policy. Okay. They have continued targeting individuals of the LGBTQ for alleged misconduct. Okay, but that is not violative of their policy. According to this. Committee justified her suspensions internally by claiming that her posts encouraged online harassment of hospitals and medical providers by insinuating that gender-affirming healthcare is equivalent to child abuse or grooming. But compare this to what happened when she herself was doxxed on November 21st. A photo of her home with her address was posted in a tweet that's garnered more than 10,000 likes. Ready for this? The tweet's still up. Right now. When she told Twitter that her address had been disseminated, she says Twitter support responded with this message. We reviewed the reported content and didn't find it to be in violation of the Twitter rules. No action was taken. Doxing tweet still up. Not a fan of Libs of TikTok myself, but that's ridiculous. I mean, come on. People have put up pictures of Misty's house and not even put the address, and it's still, you got to get that shit taken down. That's hypothesis underlying much of what we've implemented, according to Yoel Roth, is that if exposure to misinformation directly causes harm, then we should use remediations that reduce exposure, and limiting the spread and virality of content is a good way to do that. And then he adds that they got Jack on board with implementing this for civic integrity in the near term, but they're going to need to make a more robust case to get this into our repertoire of policy remediations, especially for other policy domains. He's setting up now what's going to be happening. And he sees the writing on the wall, and he's like, how are we going to start further banning and further implementing policy and showing that it is official and getting Jack to be on board with it? So this is right before, of course, the company sold. And pretty interesting. October 2022, we knew that Elon's taking over. I would guess that this policy, whatever they're doing, they're trying to button it up before he takes over, not realizing that he's basically going to flip the entire thing over and fire half the people and do everything that he did. So BARI also wants to say that the authors have broad and expanding access to Twitter's files. The only condition we agreed to was that the material would first be published on Twitter. This is really important. Everybody's saying that this is handpicked, that they were only given certain files and certain emails and certain everything. No, they were given everything. Here, go through it. Where do you start? I mean, you and I start in different places, but this is where they started.
Yeah.
All right. We're just getting started on our reporting. Documents cannot tell the whole story here. A big thank you to everyone who's spoken to us so far. If you're a current or former Twitter employee, we'd love to hear from you. Please write to. This is the Free Press. Now, again, not a big fan of BARI WEISS. She's terrible on Israel policy. Don't like that she worked for the New York Times. She's mainstream media shit lib.
Toady.
Terrible. But watch Taibbi for the next installment. And I did cover Matt Taibbi's next installment. And I think that
he was on Rogan recently, too.
Fascinating. Oh, really? Okay. So this is where it really starts to get
a thing.
Interesting.